Hey guys, welcome back to Guapish, Rule 34. This is episode probably like 58 or something? No,
Sounds
that's
about
not
right.
No, 38 or 39 or 40 maybe.
None of these numbers are correct, Tanner. I can tell you that.
39.
36.
49? 39.
37?
You've almost got it.
What was the most recent one? I think this is 40.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 40, Tanner. You're right.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Anyway, that's what episode it is. As always, I'm your host, Tanner. And also, as always, I'm joined by my co-host and special guest, Nico.
I definitely thought you were going to say Jackson for that one. I'm surprised.
No. I
Slightly
go in order
honored.
of importance.
Nice.
Anyways, next is Jackson.
Hello.
And last, and as I already specified least, is Dylan.
Yeah, I mean, I expected this already, so not too much of a surprise here.
If you expect disappointment, you'll never be disappointed.
Hey, that's this quote from the Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, that's a Spider-Man.
Jesus Christ!
Spider-Man!
Spider-Man.
Guys,
Dude,
have you seen the new
Spider-Man?
You
Spider-Man?
don't have to
I
do
saw the
that.
new Spider-Man.
We're talking about
Oh,
Spider-Man?
fuck, that's right. We saved that topic for this week.
Oh, shit.
Tanner, did you not
Okay.
realize that's what we were talking about today?
I did. I
thought
forgot.
that's
You
where
know,
this was going.
I just now remembered. Okay.
I thought that's why you made the reference.
No,
also thought
I'm
that's
just, I'm just that fucking organic with what I say, man. What can I? Maybe my subconscious knew we were talking about that, and so it was like, all right, let's make a segue.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
Anyways,
Perfect.
so last week we were going to talk about Spider-Man, but then Nico informed me that you two don't like Spider-Man. So now we stopped talking about it to save it for here.
Oh,
now
they
both of
hated
you
it.
shut the
They
fuck up.
hated it, Tanner. They reviled that film.
Yeah. But me and
Well.
Nico, we love it. It's our favorite movie ever.
Damn, really?
That's right.
That's
It
really
goes
sad.
it goes Spider-Man, No Way Home, and then Jurassic Park now.
That really sucks. I'm sorry.
It's not my favorite movie ever, but Spider-Man No Way Home is in fact the greatest superhero movie ever made. I loved every second of it, and I literally came when Tobey Maguire walked onto the screen.
Whoa, now, Tanner, spoilers. Let's not get into that talk quite yet.
What?
With spoilers
Isn't
for
that the
what?
whole point of us being here?
I'm confused now.
I mean, spoilers for the audience, you know.
I mean,
Listen, audience, we're gonna talk about the fucking movie, okay? It came out on the 18th of December, so like, you know, it's been it'll be like a month by the time this episode comes out. So if you haven't seen it, that's not our problem.
Honestly, that's on you at this point.
Yeah.
exactly.
But first, to begin with, boys, how'd you all feel about the movie?
Mid.
That's fair, Jackson. That's fair.
I loved
Okay, I
it.
guess I enjoyed it. There were just there were some plot things that kind of bothered me, but other than that, I thought it was pretty good.
Let's hear it, Dylan. What plot things did bother
Well,
you?
now hang on. We should probably
I want-
do the rundown of the general film, because I know
Yeah,
what
sure.
Dylan's plot problems
Okay,
are, and
okay.
those come way later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Sure.
I also really like the
Anyways.
movie.
Yeah,
I thought it was
yeah. We like the movie.
Yeah.
By the way, in the topic in our Christmas episode where we were like making jokes about what happens in the movie, surprisingly accurate.
Yeah.
There were a couple of things that like kind of actually happened. I made one joke about like Spider-Man killing Tobey Maguire, and there was an instance in the movie where he was like, you know, he was attacking. Well, not attacking, but he almost hit Tobey with the fucking glider.
Yeah.
Like
Shit
that
almost
happened.
went south real quick.
Yeah. But so we open on our hero, and he's living. What the fuck? The plot? You know what? You do this one. I did the last movie plot. Whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that we need to be like super exact with this, Tanner.
Yeah, what happened again?
Yeah. So. At the start of the movie, it picks up right where the last one left off, you know?
Yeah.
But with
everyone
that-
knows he.
Yeah, everyone's fucking going hectic, dude.
Uh-huh.
Everyone's crazy. They're like,
Yeah.
holy shit, I know Spider-Man? That
Crazy.
kid?
That loser.
This fucking freak over here? And the movie takes a turn that I was not at all expecting. Good old Spider-Man, he just goes back home, and then he just gets arrested.
Yeah.
I for sure thought that this movie was going to be like good old Spider-Man evading the law, trying to find a way to get out of all this trouble. But no, he just lets himself get arrested. And then shortly after that, Daredevil's like, "Oh yeah, don't worry about it. You're good, kid."
Yeah, what, hold on a second. They really just insert Daredevil out of nowhere?
Yeah.
I don't think most people would have gotten that unless they know a little more than the average person about the Marvel Universe. Because
Fuck Daredevil.
I completely disagree. I think anyone who knows who Daredevil is would know that's Daredevil.
I had to process it for a minute.
I just think that
he's a blind lawyer.
Your average Joe who doesn't know much about like anything Marvel outside of the films, I don't think is going to really know about that. Case in point, Jackson.
I mean, what I was gonna say though is like nobody's gonna watch this movie, look at some dude who's like sitting in a room, he's obviously blind and a lawyer. Nobody's gonna be like, without knowing the Marvel Universe, they're not gonna be like, oh, that's Daredevil. Like, he's a blind lawyer.
Yes, if they don't know the character, they're not gonna know the character.
Okay, well that's what I was saying. I was saying the average person wouldn't be able to tell that's Daredevil.
The fucking average person, like on a global scale, probably doesn't know who Spider-Man is.
I don't know. Spider-Man's very, very popular, Tanner. He's like one of the most popular superheroes.
Was it
around.
the same actor for him from the TV show?
That I don't know. I didn't watch any of the TV shows, so
It seemed like he was, but I could be wrong.
Let me say the TV show. What the fuck? Oh, I just want to know who it is. Charlie Cox. Does he have a credit in No Way Home? Yes, he does.
okay.
So yeah, it's the same guy.
Neat.
Does this make the show canon?
Yeah, I guess so.
That definitely makes some holes somewhere.
So
That muddies the waters a little bit.
I know. So at this point in particular, because I know me and Jackson kind of talked about this a little bit when we were out of the theater, and this is something we both kind of agreed on, but we both found it kind of strange where Spider-Man was getting slapped with all these like lawsuits or whatever. He's like really, they're really wanting to throw him in the cell, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, all your charges are dropped, and then it's like that part's over in like 15 minutes, and then they're like, oh, but Happy, since you are like one of the main connections to Tony Stark, all of the charges are now being pressed to you. And he's like, oh, and they're like, oh, it'll be fine. And then within 5 to 10 minutes, that's also gone. So it was really just a placeholder that didn't necessarily have to happen, especially since there were no ramifications that
Yup.
like put
Well, the
it
Spider-Man
later in the
legal
movie.
stuff went away because he didn't actually do anything wrong and could more or less prove it.
Yeah.
The whole Happy issue was he stole Stark technology.
Yeah, but
And,
what I'm saying is like,
I think presumably that was going on in the background of the whole movie.
yeah, but they never like went
behind
back
the
to it. Like,
scenes.
you
Right, but, like,
could say
who
that,
cares?
but
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Dylan, do you want to sit there in the film and go back to like, oh man, what's Happy up to right now?
Yeah.
I
Is
mean,
Happy in court right now?
my idea is more like, why would you, like, in my mind, it's more of why would you bring it up if it's not going to be an issue or something. Or
They
whatever
needed an
later
excuse
in
for
the
Happy
movie.
to not be around throughout the film.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say they just need to justify having that fucking piece of tech in Happy's house.
Yeah, sure, that too.
Yeah. But, yeah, that was just,
Also, there were definitely ramifications to all of this happening as well, Dylan.
He
Late
didn't
on
get
us.
into Yale or whatever.
Yeah, because
All
of all
three.
this,
Okay, all three of them are smart enough to go to Yale.
Yeah, all three of them are super
MIT.
it was MIT.
Yeah.
Smart. Yeah, MIT. I mean, they were
Why
all
is Flash Thompson going to MIT?
because he's also smart. Remember,
Is every single child in this Marvel Spider-Man thing is a genius?
I mean,
Sure.
remember in the very first movie, they were all on some like trivia team or some shit like that for like all the super smart students.
Wasn't it debate team?
No, it wasn't debate team because there was like a bunch of math and shit involved in it as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was like you're the smart kids, so do this shit, okay?
It's like,
We're going to DC.
it's like, go ahead.
I was gonna say, quick question: did they not get into MIT, or like did they get denied because of what they presumably did, like the initial charges,
Yeah.
or because of like
Yeah.
the controversy surrounding the scenario? Because
Yeah,
they
it's
got
Like
all
a-
the,
yeah.
they got all the charges dropped around them, so I think it's dumb for them to have gotten denied because of
It's like
prior
a
charges.
Kyle Rittenhouse situation. How he's getting kicked out of ASU or whatever because he did nothing.
Yeah, I think they specifically say in the film, like as they're reading the shit or whatever, they're like, due to the controversies surrounding your current shit with Spider-Man, we can't accept you at this time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or like
I
a
gotcha.
reputation kind of thing.
Yeah, that's
Sure.
what I figured.
So,
And that's why we're clarifying.
Yeah, there's all that terrible fallout due to the events of the last film. And do the shit that happens at the very beginning here. And that's what kicks off the entire plot, Dylan. This is why he goes to Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I saw the movie going in at least the way that the trailers portrayed it, I saw the movie going in a different direction as far as how the events unfolded and everything.
Well, that's the thing about the trailers, Dylan. Just don't trust them at any point. Don't trust the Marvel trailers. They purposefully edit them in different ways to cause you to entirely misinterpret what the film is going to be. Certain scenes will have entirely different lines from what you actually see in the trailer, and will be in entirely different locations and shit like that.
Yeah.
To try and throw you off.
But
because they're sick of all these people on YouTube analyzing all their trailers and being like, we already know exactly what the plot of this film is going to be because of the hints that we have seen in this trailer, and we are going to reveal it all to you now.
Yeah. Like, they have the fucking fight scene, the end fight scene in the trailers without Toby and Garfield in it.
Yeah.
Not even the Green Goblin is there either. He's just fighting nobody.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, we knew about Doc Ock.
Yeah.
We knew about Sandman. We knew about Electro.
So that is one thing. I just completely avoided the trailers for this. The only one who I knew was going to be in here was Doc Ock.
Yeah.
Because of the memes around it.
Yeah, that's
right.
That's all I knew about it as well. So.
Hello, Peter.
Yeah. Which, by the way, that is one other thing I want to bring up. Yeah. So, of course, I do also have my fair share of little gripes here and there with the film. And as we progress into the movie a little bit more here, Peter ends up fighting the old Doc Ock. And it's a really cool scene on the old bridge, Dylan.
That was a good one.
Yeah, it was a cool fight. It was a very neat how Peter beat him with the fucking nanotechnology just going right into his tentacle arms and controlling it.
Yeah, that was pretty neat.
Yeah, I thought that was rad as hell, dude.
Yeah.
And then Dylan, well, later we get to see that the lizard is in this film as well.
Right.
And you can just tell that actor did not want to be here.
I mean, yeah, he probably had a screen time of maybe half an hour.
What do you mean half an hour? He was in the movie for 2 minutes.
That was trying to just, I don't know.
That's the total time he's doing anything on the screen.
I don't know, he had that bit at the end that had to at least be... Well, the bit at the end is probably the most screen time he had the whole movie, so...
Which was a 30-second fight scene with him.
Because...
the lizard and Sandman...
Did he even die at the end of his movie?
No.
I don't remember him dying in Amazing Spider-Man.
I'm pretty sure he did,
Did
he? No, he didn't.
I don't think he did.
They reverted him back. And then he just went to jail, I'm pretty sure. Because the
Mary
Jane's
am I crazy?
dad died or something. I remember that, because... He was trying to help Spider-Man even though he hated him, and he ended up dying, and I'm pretty sure they just ended up curing the lizard guy, and he got sent to jail or something.
He wasn't trying to help Spider-Man at the end of that film. He was trying to turn the city into lizards.
No, not the dad.
Oh, gotcha.
The dad was trying to help Spider-Man at the end.
Okay.
Yeah, I know he was trying to turn the city into
lizards. So Sandman didn't die in Spider-Man 3, and the lizard didn't die in The Amazing Spider-Man.
Did Sandman not die in Spider-Man 3?
That's what this is saying.
Wacky, dude. Wacky.
Oh, I mean...
Also, the implication they say is that they got grabbed right before they die fighting Spider-Man.
That would make the most sense.
But Doc Ock, right before he dies in his movie, decides...
Was a good guy.
Yeah, he flips and he's like, oh, I'm gonna sacrifice myself to stop my crazy machine.
See, that's what I was telling Nico.
So it's just before that.
Yeah, but they're probably because they pulled the multiverse theory into this, so it could literally be any Doc Ock because they went around the room and they were talking about what was happening before they showed up in that universe, and I remember Doc Ock saying something like, I was choking the life out of Spider-Man's eyes, and the next thing I knew I was here. And that obviously didn't happen in that Spider-Man movie, so that had to have been a different universe entirely.
I mean, there was a moment where he was doing that. It's just he flipped.
Yeah. But, so, it could have just been... I don't think it had to be right before they died, but it's definitely at some point...
I mean, the ultimate rule was they were people who knew that Peter Parker was Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if... Did Electro know?
It sounded like they were friends. The way that they were talking.
I mean, Dylan never saw that film. I don't remember enough about it to really say.
Did Sandman know?
Yes. No. Wait. Yeah. Yes.
Did Green Goblin know? Green Goblin
Yes.
found out
Green
like
Goblin
towards the very
100%
end.
knew.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Sandman, however, maybe.
He
I'm not
wasn't
entirely
even that
sure.
big a part of that movie, was he?
He wasn't, but he
wasn't
was
the
like
end.
the best part of the movie. He had the most heart and soul, which also
Right.
confuses me as to why he's in this film, because he also does not seem to want to be here, much like the lizard, and they don't actually do anything with him.
Well, that's the other thing too, is that even in his movie, like the movie that he's in, he wasn't. If anything, he could be depicted as a bad guy in the beginning of the movie, but for sure at the end of the movie, he was not evil. In fact, he was trying to help Spider-Man defeat fucking Venom or whoever the villain was in that Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean, that's why he initially helps Peter in this one.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that makes a little bit of sense, but
Yeah, when they initially see each other, they're pals. They're fighting Electro, which, by the way, one thing I did really like that they did with Electro here is in the Amazing Spider-Man 2, they just made him a glowing blue man. But this time around, they completely ditched that because
Yeah, they're like-
this looks stupid.
Yeah. They're like, oh, and the change into the other universe, it like makes his powers work different.
Well, yeah, he has a line like when he first shows up where he's like, the electricity here, it feels different somehow.
yeah, I didn't get that part.
Well,
But
so I guess one thing that could possibly be is that in many movies ago at this point, in one of the Iron Man films, Tony talks about how he's planning on like rolling out his reactor shit to like completely take over like the world's electricity because it's way more efficient and shit like that.
Right.
So presumably Tony likely managed to do that, and I guess that electricity just works differently from the normal shit
I was
that we
just
have.
dude, honestly, they could literally just say, oh, the speed of light is different in different multiverses.
I think
There
that's
you go.
one thing. I think that is legitimately one thing I've heard about the multiverse theory is that like electricity and shit will work differently depending on where you are.
Yeah.
So I guess that might be an inspiration behind that, but who knows? I'm not sure.
Who knows? Whatever.
That's for big
I don't-
fancy science people to determine.
I don't understand some of the villain's decision. Like when things go wrong in the apartment and they all start running away. I don't know. Why did Doc Ock run away? Why did Sandman run away? Why did the lizard run away?
I think the lizard knew something was gonna happen. Like he was like, "There's no way this is gonna work." So he was just waiting for something to happen. And for as far as Doc Ock and Sandman running away, I really honestly have no clue.
Yeah.
Didn't make too much contextual sense.
So hold up here a second, guys. I think we're getting a little too far ahead of ourselves because we're
Okay.
completely skipping over a very integral event.
Well, yeah,
or
yeah.
several events that really that really impact Jackson and Dylan's enjoyment of the film.
Oh, really? They
So,
did. What
yeah,
the magic
so-
stuff?
No.
Yeah, I guess. So first was the pretty neat fight with like Peter and Doctor Strange, which like
That was a good
Oh,
fight.
yeah.
I will not lie. That was an amazing fight.
it was hella dope, dude.
Going through the fractals and shit, yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Spider-Man would not be able to beat Doctor Strange, though.
Well, that's one of the things about
at,
Spider-Man.
at the very least, this Spider-Man at this, where he's still in his high school Spider-Man, no.
yeah, more
Prime
likely
Spider-Man. Prime Spider-Man, maybe. He's a bit tricksy or whatever.
Yeah, that's one of the weird things about Spider-Man in the comics is that he just tends to beat so many people who he should just not be capable of.
Yeah.
Which, that's a typical comic book garbage for you. But, yeah, I thought that it was neat how he managed to beat him, because one thing that we haven't really gotten to see in many of the Spider-Man films that they really seem to push a lot more in this one, is that Spider-Man is supposed to be, like, super smart.
Yeah, he's supposed to be like a whiz kid.
Yeah, he's a boy genius, and we get to see that on full display this time around, with his fight against Doctor Strange and a bit later in the film as well.
Andrew Garfield, I mean, his Peter Parker was kind of... No, he didn't. Never mind. I was going to say he, like, makes his web shooters and stuff, but no, he like, steals them.
Does he? Kind of. He
He
takes
stole the fluid.
Yeah. But he designed the wrist launchers
Right.
and, like, packaged them into the tiny little devices he has to load them
guess.
into.
I'm glad they called attention to Tobey Maguire having organic wood shooters.
That's later for the film,
I
Tan.
love
It's
that.
later
I
for the film.
know.
I don't even know where we are right now.
I think I know where Nico's going with this portion, and it's the fact that I didn't like, and this has to do with the whole trailer thing that you referenced earlier, but I didn't like how the movie like came to be, like how all the villains and everything showed up. I didn't like the method in which they made it happen, where it's, oh, you changed this spell a bunch of times to make everybody forget who you are, and now it's like, instead of making everybody forget, it opened up multiverse portals that's pulling everybody who does know you into the universe. When, and I'm not gonna say I begin to understand how Doctor Strange's magic worked, but I don't think anywhere in that spell it was pull people in or push people out. It was kind of just make people forget. So I don't understand.
It was an unstable spell, Dylan.
Though, like,
he said at the beginning, this one uses magic that like runs along the barriers between worlds or something.
Yeah,
for some reason
it broke the barriers.
But
yeah. That's just logic that they can now throw onto any spell if they want them to go wrong. They're like, oh, this one uses, like, the crazier magic.
See, but I would have at least expected, like, I don't know, something from Endgame or something. Some kind of backlash or side product or whatever you want to call it. Something from that. Like, popped all the
What are you talking about?
I have no idea what he's talking about right now.
What's he talking about?
Some byproduct of something that happened at the end of Endgame, where like everybody showed up at once and they're traveling between dimensions, they're slipping in and out of different timelines and all that kinds of stuff. I would have expected like something like from that to cause this movie.
But Thanos only snapped people from our dimension, Dylan. He didn't do that for everywhere.
No, I know.
So how would that have anything to do with it? All right, that's fair, Dylan. That's fair. That wasn't actually what I was referring to though at all.
Speechless.
So around this time is when Peter discovers the Green Goblin, who looks like a homeless man with his Aunt May.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where where things in the movie take a real turn, in which Spider-Man decides he wants to rehabilitate these villains.
Well, kind of.
Dylan and Jackson did not like this.
It was
turn.
stupid.
Yeah, I thought this was dumb as fuck.
Yeah, see?
They're
like,
pro-death penalty.
Because, I mean, Aunt May's like, oh, they're just misguided people who need a second chance, and we can rehabilitate them. I'm like, most of these people are, well, not most of them, half of these people are, like, basically on fucking drugs, because the Green Goblin got that shit in his head that makes him, like, split personality. And then fucking Lizard Man just is aggressive like a fucking lizard. And then you got Mr. Dr. Octopus, who has fucking evil robot arms telling him shit that's not true. And Sandman doesn't give a fuck, and Electro just has hatred in his soul. So like, and then they're like, you can trust us. We'll go along with your plan, and if it doesn't work, you know, then what? And he's like, then I'll just hit the button and send you guys back. And it's like, okay, cool. And then at that point, I'm like, these people are trying to rehabilitate supervillains, and this is where, yeah, like Nico said, this is where the movie was kind of like unrealistic, but let's see where this goes.
Unrealistic. Dylan, here's something you just don't understand. Aunt May is a blue-pilled liberal cuck, okay? She runs a freaking homeless shelter. She's all about rehabilitating people.
I mean...
Yeah. And
Jackson,
it gets her killed.
Yeah.
Jackson, did we agree that this movie could have ended in two different spots?
Yes.
I don't know if we both... Yeah, okay,
We
so we
did,
did.
yeah.
It could have ended right when he captured everybody, and it also could have ended a little bit later when Peter was like, oh, if you don't hear from me, or if I send you a message, just hit the button, just do it. Then these flash to the scene, we're like, oh man, haven't heard anything from him in a while, have you heard anything? He's like, no, I haven't. I'm like, then press the fucking button, that's what the agreement was. And so, and I get it, is you gotta get pad time. Obviously there'd be no movie if they didn't do it, but
So here's the thing, Dylan. Here's the problem here. This is the thing. So Spider-Man, he's a good boy, Dylan.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
He's a hero through and through. Okay,
right.
Spider-Man, if he knows that he can stop someone from dying, he'll do it. Like, none of the villains who had died because Spider-Man was trying to kill them in like any of their incarnations.
Right.
They just died through their own sort of circumstances. So if any of them were able to be saved, I'm sure the Spider-Man would have tried to save them.
I mean,
Spider-Man doesn't want these guys to die.
They kind of brought this up in the movie, and in morality, it's like, it may not make much of a difference, but it'll make a difference to these guys. But Doctor Strange brought up a very logical point of, there are millions, if not billions, if not trillions of multiverses. And what difference does it make if you save these people and send them back? Like they're just destined to die in their own timeline or their own universe. Why would you try to stop fate? And then of course there's the line where he's like, well, maybe I can change fate or whatever. And I'm like, okay.
And even if they save them, there's still, again, so many different incarnations of them. They're still going to die the exact same way, so it's really not making much of a dent in anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes a dent to them because they won't be dead.
Yeah.
That is absolutely correct.
You see, that's
what if you're like about to get gunned down in the streets and like someone could help you, but then they look you dead in the eyes and say, "I believe in the
This is your
multiverse
fate."
theory, and there are infinite numbers of you out there that would also die."
I think you're making this far too personal.
Spider-Man's making
Well,
a
I'm just
personal
saying,
villain.
yeah, like I'm saying, if you're going to judge the actions that characters in a story are making, then you have to look at it from their perspective.
I mean, yeah.
Like, should you just look at every story and say, well, since all of these are fictional, nothing they ever do ever matters, so I won't care at all.
I mean, yeah.
There's no point in even talking about movies at all if you're going to take that perspective.
So, the reason that I feel this way about this particular plot is because when I thought how the movie was going to go, was like all of a sudden these villains are
Dylan,
being pouring.
you need to stop worrying about how you thought the movie should
I
have been.
understand that.
Just accept it for what it was.
That's fine. But I expected villains to be pouring in from other dimensions for some god-awful reason, and throughout the movie, Spider-Man's would also be pouring in to, like, help fight off the villains, and then slowly throughout the movie, they're kicking all these bad guys back through dimensional portals to send them back to the original dimensions, and then eventually the other Spider-Mans would just return to their own universes.
But Dylan, that's not the movie you got. You should
I know
stop.
it's not
You
the
stop judging it based off of what you thought it would be,
I
and
know.
judge it based off the actual
That's
film.
the end of that. I just wanted to get
You
that
thought
out
you
there.
just thought it was going to be like more of an action
I
focused
thought
movie.
I thought it'd be more action prone.
I thought it would be like video game style, where you
Sure.
get a boss fight every 20 minutes.
Yeah, sure, something like that.
I do think that my own counterpoint to the thing of actually like saving them rather than just sitting them back and letting them die
Yeah,
is
of
just the risk aspect of it. Because what if they don't want to get rehabilitated like they didn't because it obviously went to shit? I'm sure so many fucking people died because of that happening. Like literally,
that's-
like the
Right.
whole last apartment complex was like destroyed in the process. I'm sure like so many people fucking died because of that. Is it worth trading those lives to save these people? Like he's literally trying to take a really small chance of fixing these people, which he ended up doing, granted, but at what cost? Like they destroyed a fucking national monument and they killed tons of people in the process, including people close to them. I just don't think it was worth it. I think that just dropping the problem and just sending them back right when they had the opportunity was like the smartest choice overall. I didn't really get it.
Well, that's the thing about lots of just superheroes in general, you know? It's like when you look at Batman, he doesn't kill people. He's not killing his villains, even
Right.
though, like, killing the Joker would save thousands of lives. He doesn't do
Yeah.
it because he's a hero. He doesn't want to resort to that kind of stuff. It's just kind of... It's kind of how these boys be. They have hearts of gold. If they
Yeah.
can save someone, they're going to try and do it. Even
Yeah.
if it... Man,
Cost
I can't
lives.
say well.
I mean, arguably,
Honestly, can I just make one small side point?
yeah,
Sure.
Go ahead.
Seems kind of disrespectful to alter the Statue of Liberty and add a Captain America shield to it.
Yeah, that was really weird.
Like, what?
I wouldn't consider that destroying a national
That's
monument
like
in
if
that
we,
case.
today in 2021, we're like, dude, we're gonna throw Obama on Mount Rushmore.
We should.
Like, that'd just be odd.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt if we did something like that in the future, to be completely honest with how shit's going recently. Yo.
Counterpoint, Tanner. It was
Okay.
made by the French, so who cares?
Oh my gosh.
You got me there.
So yeah, me and Jackson obviously have a lot of similar grievances towards the movie. I will say, arguably, for the sake of rehabilitating the villains, it seemed like they needed that Uncle Ben moment in this Spider-Man's like story in particular, and I think that's really. I don't know if there could have been. I'm sure there could have been another way to get it, but this is how that's the route they decided to go. So I don't know. I fully expected her to live through the movie, but you know, you just get that feeling right when all of it's said and done. You're like, because I remember the moment I like leaned over to Nico. I'm like, she's gonna fucking die, and then she died within 5 minutes. So Yeah.
I was surprised that they killed her.
I honestly
I did
was
not
as
see
well.
that coming.
I was.
So, I think one thing that's very unfortunate about this is just the second Spider-Man movie, Far From Home. Because of the way that movie is structured, we get no time with Aunt May whatsoever within it.
Right.
So they just really, and we didn't get all that much time with her in the first one either, so they just really need to front load her into this one so that they can make that death, like,
Matter.
kinda
Well, at least to the
feel
crowd.
something.
Yeah. It doesn't even seem to affect Peter all that much, if I'm being
What do you mean?
honest.
What?
He seems pretty affected by it.
I would say...
Yes, listen, he is very affected when he is there with her and then visiting her grave. But for the rest of the movie, he's kind of just going on. And
What do
he's
you
got
mean?
his little apartment, whatever. He seems fine.
That's at the very
That's
end of
after.
the movie.
Are you not, like,
Yeah.
thinking about the portion where he's, like, rage-induced, trying to fucking kill Green Goblin with all the hatred, and then you were talking about the part with Tobey Maguire where he
Okay.
tries to fucking impale him with the glider?
That's fair enough.
Yeah, I think that her death has some pretty big ramifications for how Peter goes throughout the rest of the film after
That's
that
fair
point.
enough.
I mean, the weird thing about this story, at least for this Spider-Man in particular, is, like, you know, all of them have, like, some family member of theirs dies. Obviously, for Tobey Maguire, it was his Uncle Ben. For the Andrew Garfield one, I think it was also his Uncle Ben, but I don't think they ever actually showed it in the movies ever. I think it just happened off-screen. And then for Tom Holland, well, because here's the way it's weird to me. It's...
Well, they
As
all
far-
had their parents die.
Yeah. So, but that's the other thing though too is he at least still had like this Spider-Man, the Tom Holland Spider-Man. As far as we're concerned, he has absolutely no family after Aunt May dies. So then at that point, it's like, well, that's kind of a really weird, like.
It's a pretty
I don't
big
know.
bummer, dude.
Yeah, it's. I thought that was the weird part, but
Was the voice of the guy telling him rent is due on the 1st the voice of Tobey Maguire's landlord? Has anyone confirmed that?
I doubt anyone has looked too far into that one, Tanner.
Oh, people were making memes about the landlord guy. Someone's looked into it.
I guess it's possible, Tanner. I guess it's possible.
but
I do have a question for you, boys. Did you cry at all when Aunt May died?
I
No.
almost got. I was getting there, but.
Okay.
I wasn't. It was like you were saying. I wasn't attached enough to the character. Like she wasn't prevalent to the story for a lot of the movie or any of the movies for that fact. So like I had like no emotional connection to the character,
Yeah.
which, you know, it's always unfortunate when stuff like that happens because you like they try to make you sad or pull at your heartstrings for a character, but it's usually like fucking what was it? Guardians of the Galaxy 2 when they kill Yondu.
Yeah.
They gave him like a fuck ton of character development throughout the movie because he wasn't really in the other movie at all. And I've kind of just come to the conclusion now that any character that goes through an intense amount of character development in a short span of maybe a movie or so, that I know that character's gonna die because they want you to build that connection with that character.
Yeah.
So they try to build that connection, but it's just not there. So, but it's okay, Nico. Your secret's safe with us.
I mean, I didn't cry at it at all.
Oh, of course.
Let's fucking go.
I was watching, I was like, this is pretty sad. Not sad enough, though. Not sad enough. We get to sadder parts later, though. We get to much sadder parts later. Still not enough to make me cry, but much sadder parts.
Such
So,
as?
we'll get to that one. So, I will say, before we get too much deeper into this, I just want to talk about Sandman a little bit more here, okay? I just want to talk about Sandman a little more. Why is Sandman so angry throughout this movie, guys?
Why is he so
what are
angry?
his-
He's
what
so
are his
mad.
What are his motivations?
He just wants to go back and see his daughter. Literally
Yeah,
the
so
entire
why is he
movie.
going against Peter?
He thinks that Peter's crazy and that... Well, no, that's actually fair, though, because if he would want him to have the cube to press the button and he wouldn't be involved in the final assault at the end of the movie. I feel like, besides, like, the initial assault, I mean, he did get taken out pretty quick in the end fight, though, too. So,
Like-
I don't know.
Well, like, Sandman's helping the villains fight against Spider-Man and shit.
Well, I think his whole thing is he wants to get the cube and go back home now. Like, immediately. He doesn't care about getting cured or any of that shit.
Is that his motivation?
Yeah,
I
but-
definitely
I
did
think
not
that's
get that
his whole.
impression.
Yeah, I think that's the deal. That he just doesn't care about like getting fixed or like anything going on. He just wants to go home immediately.
Okay.
In that same context, though, his views still differ from the villains because he just wants to get the cube and like press it immediately. Electro doesn't want to leave this universe because he like loves the power too much. And I mean, as far as like Doc Ock and Green Goblin go and Lizard, like they don't really. I mean, they all kind of want to stay too. It's not as like, it's not. They don't really paint it out for us to know or whatever, but. Yeah, Sandman just wants to go, so if he's like trying to press the button, I agree with Nika. Why is he helping the villains get the cube when he knows that they're not going to press the button, even though that's what he wants? So...
How'd you guys feel about Electro throughout this film?
I like Jamie Foxx. He's a pretty cool guy. I don't like how apparently they turned an old white man into a black young dude, but whatever.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, what do you mean?
I don't know. Apparently the character that they were referencing from the Spider-Man 2 was like some old white scientist dude with glasses and like balding, like comb-over hair.
No, it was Jamie Foxx in the movie.
That's how he looked.
That's definitely not the way they made it sound.
That's because he was like a loser in that film.
Yeah, he was like a nerd. I do find it weird that he's like... Why is he like wasn't he like speaking like stereotypically urban black or whatever when that very much is not what that character was?
Yeah, no, he was just like some dunce-ass nerd in the in Spider-Man 2.
Well, obviously since
But now he's like some smooth talking like whatever guy, you know?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, he changed I don't know.
He didn't change his race.
He changed his personality.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah. I mean, Electro in the comics is white.
Yeah.
But
we don't talk about that.
But we don't talk. But it was Jamie Foxx in The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
I did like how they constantly referenced the eels that turned him like this. Just like really wanted to hammer home the idea that this is a really stupid character.
Yeah, I was like, is there any special properties of the eels? Was there like the vat of liquid he fell into that maybe enhanced like...
Yeah, they're just doing like some electric eel testing or some shit. It's like Sandman, dude. They both just fell in some shit and now they're like that.
Yeah, but at least with the fucking Sandman, he fell into like
he fell into sand.
No, he fell into...
He fell into sand.
Yeah.
Something collider.
It was like a hydro collider or something.
Yeah, that one at least kind of makes sense, maybe. I don't know how the science works, but like as far as I'm concerned, Electro fell into a vat of electric eels and now he controls electricity.
Yeah, dude. It's nuts.
Okay, very cool.
It's fucking nuts, dude.
Bro, I have a new book. I could just go look it up.
There you go, Don.
I could do that.
You can find out what Electro's eel is. So shortly after Peter's dear old aunt dies, is when, guys, we get to see some more Spider-Man in the Spider-Man movie.
Dude, look at all those Spider-Man.
Check him out.
I will convince you otherwise, Dylan. I don't think Tobey Maguire did that great of a job in this film, honestly.
I mean, I wasn't talking about this film specifically. I was just saying in general, Tobey Maguire's best Spider-Man.
I thought it was amazing just how jazzed Andrew Garfield seemed to be in this film. He was just so happy to be included, dude.
He really was. He's got one of them boyish charms people talk about.
He does. I think
Andrew Garfield was probably the best Spider-Man.
Honestly,
I think Tom Holland, if you I think Tom Holland is the best like Peter Parker and Spider-Man.
Mm.
But if we're just looking at the Spider-Man aspect of that character, I think Andrew Garfield was the best one.
Yeah, he's got the wit and everything that you need with a good Spider-Man. Yeah,
exactly.
Like God, I think that this film just really made people recognize Andrew Garfield for the great Spider-Man that he is, despite how horribly those films did.
Yeah.
I still don't think those films are all that great.
Maybe that's why I'm so happy.
Goddamn, Andrew Garfield did a great job here.
He was trying
to
to
redeem himself. You guys think me
himself.
seeing any of the old Spider-Man movies would have enhanced my experience at all? Because I didn't know what the fuck was going on. Most of the time I didn't know any of the villains. I didn't know either of the Spider-Man.
Wait, you didn't even watch the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man?
No, I've not seen a single Spider-Man movie outside of the recent ones.
Oh.
Damn.
I mean,
Yeah.
one thing that's always bothered me since the first Spider-Man is, like Nico was referencing, he said he wanted to get to later. The one thing that's always bothered me since that Spider-Man is that they needed web shooters to shoot web. I don't know how it is in the comics or anything like that or whatever.
It's web shooters in the comics as well.
Is it really?
So
yes.
the
Wait,
thing
hold
with
on,
Spider-Man-
hold on. No, hold on
Yeah,
a second. organic web shooters are stupid and I hate them and I cannot believe that you are on that side, Dylan.
I mean, what's wrong with it?
Hey, do spiders shoot webs out of their fucking legs?
No, they don't.
Maybe.
But they're also not human beings.
It's ridiculous.
This
go
is
on,
literally
Nico.
a hybrid of a mutated spider that bit a man and infuses DNA with him. Who knows what kind of fucking combination that's gonna
Whatever. Go on, Nico.
Yeah, so in the comics, Dylan, typically Spider-Man will have web shooters. There is a run of Spider-Man where instead of like getting bitten by a spider, Spider-Man instead becomes like, I don't remember exactly how the chain of events unfolds, but he becomes like the herald of like some spider god and gains like all these
Hold
spider
on.
shit.
1 second.
Yeah, what's up?
I just I'm looking through the cast list of Spider-Man No Way Home to see if the guy who played the landlord is in it. Zendaya doesn't have a last name?
No, she's just Zendaya. It's like Cher, you know?
I don't like her anymore.
You do not like people with just a first name?
Damn.
Go on,
It's too
Nico.
pretentious, dude. It's too pretentious.
It is.
So, yeah,
it is.
Okay.
In that run, Spider-Man is able to like shoot webs out of his wrists and shit like that. He can also like grow a bunch of extra limbs like a spider as well. He can have like 8 limbs. I think he can spit acid and shit as well.
I mean,
So that Spider-Man can do it, Dylan. You like that Spider-Man?
that sounds pretty neat. All I'm saying is that, you know, most superheroes have all these facets to their powers, and I'm like, if you take away the web shot, then, I mean, it's just a lot less things he has to go for.
Yeah, he doesn't have like spider sense or like the ability to climb on walls.
With super
saying.
strength.
Yeah.
Just don't take away the facets, dude.
They should have
Let
had
him
him
have it.
freak out at like the tiny hairs all over Toby's body that let
Oh,
him
yeah, there
climb
you go.
walls.
I mean, presumably that stuff is still involved with these other Spider-Men. They just don't really put a focus on it.
I mean, to be
Okay.
completely fair, I was a child when I would watch this Spider-Man movie, and I was addicted to watching so many movies over and over again, and I think that's why I'm so, like, keen on that Spider-Man in particular, just because I watched that movie so many times when I was a kid.
Yeah,
I don't
gotta
like
say,
I don't like the organic web shooters at all. They're weird and gross.
Yeah, they're pretty gross. However, Tobey Maguire's introduction to this film, for Andrew Garfield, they make it like pretty bombastic. It's a real fun time. But when Tobey Maguire like just steps on through that portal,
Casually walks in.
yeah, it's
He's
very
dressed up like
casual.
Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, there's not much fanfare to it at all.
Right.
He's just kind of like, hey guys, I'm Spider-Man too.
Yeah.
Prove that you're Spider-Man. That scene was...
I will say he knew the most.
Yeah,
Like, he had the most understanding of, like, yeah, this is an alternate dimension. I get the gist. I understand what's going on. Which, like, why does he know that?
he's the old seasoned Spider-Man. You see, Tim?
Yeah.
At least they made his character match his age, because I wasn't sure how they were going to pull that off in this movie, considering his age in the movies when they were depicting him as a high school student.
They do some major de-aging. They actually did do quite a bit of that with Norman Osborn. I think he still looks great.
Yeah,
They made him look a lot like how he did in like the original run of Spider-Man.
I was shocked to see the way that he looked in this movie, considering... I mean, and you could tell with, like, Doc Ock, too. Like, you could tell he aged. But, like, fucking the Green Goblin, like, he didn't look like he aged at all. And I was...
It's de-aging technology, my boy.
Crazy stuff.
Yeah.
I will say, like, I don't know that they really de-aged them, guys. I mean, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3 was in 2007. I don't think they really need to do that much, guys. Let's calm down here.
I mean, it's... that's the Spider-Man 3, though. He was only in the first one, Tanner.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
That one is like 2002 or some shit like that.
It's very old. It's like 2000...
It's a long time ago. It's nearly 20 years ago, Tanner. It's nearly 20
Right.
years. A man changes a lot during that time.
Yeah.
Well, it
Yeah.
depends on the age of the man.
Yeah. Also, if he's black or not.
I mean,
Okay.
I think it's more
I mean,
just
yeah.
a not
Yeah.
white person, but...
Like, Jamie Foxx doesn't look different. If
Exactly.
anything, he looks younger, honestly.
Yeah.
I really just think it's a not white thing. Because it could be
Only white
Hispanic
people
it
age.
could be Asian. I mean, that's kind of the general consensus I've come to at this point. Asians kind of wait till they're like 60 and then they age fucking 70 years.
Andrew Garfield didn't age at all.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
He had some scruff, and that was
Yeah.
how they indicated he was older.
Yeah.
Yeah, shortly after their whole introduction is when we get to see good old Toby, not Toby.
Yeah, good old Toby. No, come on, good old
Tom
Toby.
Holland Spider-Man, Peter Parker, Spider Prime or whatever.
Yeah,
Just chilling on the school.
Spider-Man 1.
He's so sad, boys. He's so sad. And this was a moment that almost made me cry. When fucking Zendaya and Man in the Chair came up and hugged Tom Holland. It felt so raw, you know? Just those feelings of him immediately weeping in their arms as they come to console him. It was rough, dude. It was rough.
Nice.
It almost got me, but it didn't. It almost got me.
Yeah,
They finally
all or
pulled
nothing
in
for
with
me,
great power comes great responsibility.
Exactly.
they threw a lot of the old Spider-Man adages and, you know, classic
Yeah,
Spider-Man
name one other
happenings. Where's my money?
What?
I don't know.
The classic Spider-Man saying.
Where's my money?
I'm pretty sure that was
Yeah,
a
they
line
threw in a
somewhere
lot
at
of
some
old
point.
adages.
Where's my money?
Yo, look at
my
that. I
money?
almost made a Spider-Man waveform. Or Spider-Man.
God.
Fuck. I can't speak.
Okay.
And yeah, we got to have a nice heart-to-heart with all the Spider-Men. Talking about
Yeah.
how everyone in their life is dead and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They seem to heavily imply that losing Gwen Stacy caused Andrew Garfield from then on in his Spider-Man career to just murder his villains.
Yeah.
See,
That really seemed to be the implication they
Yeah,
made.
he went down a dark path is how he
Yeah.
described it.
yeah, but she, from what I gathered, she died in the second movie, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but there was no sequel to that movie. So, did it happen
No,
early
well,
in the movie?
No.
No, I think the idea is that while the villains got pulled from their universes, like in the movies they would have been in, Toby and Garfield got pulled like after they had been Spider-Man for some amount of time.
Yeah.
Right.
It's much later in their lives.
Yeah, so like in unseen hypothetical stories that they were doing.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, because he said that, and I did not remember her dying in the first movie. So then I was like wondering, like, maybe it happened in the beginning of the second movie, and that's where he's pulling all this from. But
No.
No.
see, and there was that part too where it was like they gave him that pep talk, and he seemed like fine. And then it was the ending where it all just resurfaced, and he almost murdered Tobey
Yeah.
Maguire.
Well, to be fair,
So-
Green Goblin was kind of egging him on.
Yeah.
And
He's
that's
like,
just
"What,
he
you little
does,
baby
though.
bitch boy? You sad? I killed your aunt?
I'm pretty
You
sure
dumb fucker."
he also did that in the first movie, though. I'm pretty sure.
I mean,
Oh.
yeah, he's just an asshole, dude.
Yeah, so, I mean, I
Green
didn't
Goblin
wanna
is just an asshole.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say it was copy paste from the first movie, but it kind of felt like it. I don't remember that much from the first movie at this point.
I feel like
I
it was
can't- I
really
can't-
obvious that the people who made this one were like, dude, the Green Goblin costume looks fucking stupid. Let's just have him destroy it when he shows up on screen.
This thing is not aged well. We're just gonna have
Yeah.
him be himself.
I do like how
We're gonna
self-aware
put
they were with a lot
a
of
hood
them.
on him.
What was that, Jackson?
So I do like a lot how they were actually self-aware about the really outdated ways they were doing things back in the day.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Even without experience with those things, it definitely enhanced it. I'm like, this is really fucking stupid.
Yeah, I didn't mind him destroying the Green Goblin suit. Having the rags and the hood and everything, I felt like it fit the movie better than if it was just Green Goblin in his suit.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's from a
It would have been
bygone
a
era.
little funny.
And then shortly after this is when we get the nice little scene where the boys are having a nice little powwow in the old science lab.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I missed I actually think I missed all of that because I had to run to the bathroom.
Yeah, Dylan got a big
Hilarious.
ass soda for the film, which
Yeah.
was perhaps not the wisest decision.
Yeah, it was fine.
You didn't miss too much during the scene.
That's why I left.
Yeah, I think
Just
my notes.
Nico's favorite scene.
I think my
Are,
notes. for this-
are we talking about the scene where they're doing the science?
Yes, that's the one.
Okay.
Yeah, I think my notes for the scene are they make a bad joke about multiple Peters. Because, like, Ned, he's like, hey Peter, can you check this out? And they're all like, what?
Huh?
He's like,
I'm a Peter.
Peter Parker. We're all Peter Parker. You know what I mean? That it's that scene. It's
good
really
joke.
stupid. I hate it.
What
It
was-
went on for
okay,
a long
so-
time.
I just want to think real quick. So, like, what solution did each of them come up with? It was like Andrew Garfield did the lizard serum.
Yeah, that would make sense.
I think, didn't Tom Holland do Doc Ock?
Well,
I mean, Tom
Doc
Holland
Ock
had already
was-
fixed Doc Ock earlier in the film.
Oh, okay.
Which
Yeah.
that was another weird part too, in the apartment scene where, you know, he obviously fixed Doc Ock, and then Electro was like, "I liked you better before," and fucking zaps the hell out of him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's gonna break his little chip thing that he just got, and he's gonna revert back, and he ran away, and I was like, he showed up and he wasn't evil, and I was like,
Why did he
Wait.
run away?
yeah.
Why did
I mean, yeah.
see? That's what I said earlier. Why did Doc Ock run away?
So I fully expected Doc Ock to be evil and that they had to recreate another chip thing for him, but that
Nah, he
clearly
was fine.
wasn't the case.
It was just his self-preservation kicking in. He knew that shit was about to get real, and he didn't want to get caught up in that.
Also,
Guess
how
so.
the hell... I mean, I get he tanked it earlier in the movie, but how the hell does Doc Ock just grab Electro and just ignore his, enhance Electro, energy from the fucking Stark reactor? No, mind you.
Stark
how does he just
reactor.
tank that? Like, he just grabs him. He doesn't give a fuck.
His arms are really strong.
Eh,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a little...
Now, I believe that during this scene is when Jackson and Dylan had another slight issue with the film. Just with the boys coming up with solutions to save the villains.
I'll agree that at the very least, I don't believe Tom Holland would be able to cure. I want to say Electro. I don't think he probably has the requisite knowledge for that one.
I mean, I think if anything, Tom Holland's contribution to this whole deal is at least providing the technology and the know-how of the technology, because he did create the Electro cure originally. Also, why did this one work faster than the last one?
He may have just had like more time or something for it this time, or
He had a fucking
I don't think that even
3D printer, though.
I don't think that even makes sense though, because they were doing it in a fucking high school science lab.
And
Yeah,
then
how do you
I
even have the
also think-
resources to do this?
Yeah,
They go to a really bougie high school.
I think he
Yeah.
probably helped with the Sandman cure and the Electro cure, but beyond that, I really don't think. Because, fucking Andrew Garfield had his serum that he knew from his movie, and Tobey Maguire said he'd been working on a serum forever for the Green Goblin, so obviously those were covered. So, really, I think the only ones he could have done were probably Sandman and Electro, because one, he did Electro's already, and then he was talking about how he could, do something to Sandman's molecular structure when they were in the apartment still. So...
Yeah.
So this makes sense
That's-
because they'd done them in prior movies?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, technically not with Green Goblin.
But also, like, a lot of time has passed since then, so it would make sense if Toby's been, like, really thinking
Researching.
about this shit for a while.
Well, yeah, because it also killed his best friend.
Yeah.
So, I would too.
He wants to make sure no one will ever get the goblin serum again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
He found the cure to the goblin disease.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah, from-
no, go ahead, Jack.
I was gonna say, yeah, from the perspective of somebody that's never seen any of these prior movies, I was like, this is fucking retarded. How did they do this all in like an hour?
Well,
It made
my other
absolutely
issue
no
too
sense.
is that all of the cures made sense. You know, obviously you throw the gas at the lizard. That's how they did it in his movie.
Sure.
They fucking Doc Ock, he just died. But the Sandman. Why is it that they I don't know, plant a fucking flash bomb or something in the sand at some random point, considering that the entire mass of the sand is him? Why is it that he popped out at the very top and all the sand kind of just disappeared? That part didn't make sense to me.
I mean, that
Well,
was
it's a
all
man
him.
made of sand, so I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, but
I don't know what you really want out
Yeah.
of this solution.
I don't
When
know.
the problem itself makes no sense, how is the solution supposed to?
That's exactly the issue here. Because at least all the other cures made sense. The fucking Electro just had to have his electricity taken away. That's easy, I think. But
Sure.
yeah, I don't know. Right. Well,
You see when we go...
Where did he get all the pumpkin bombs?
Yeah, where
He
did they
probably
come
just
from?
brewed them up, dude.
He just had tons of them stashed in his pussy.
Okay.
pumpkin
Yeah.
bombs.
The Green Goblin.
The Green Goblin. That's right.
I mean, he had been gone for a while. He's like a weapons expert. He's something of a scientist himself, you know.
I mean, his glider could just be a 3D printer or something. I don't know.
I mean,
Potentially.
possibly.
There you
I mean,
go,
Possibly.
sure.
He
He
does
does-
just. He probably knows how to make these things.
Well,
you know?
yeah, but he also
Yeah.
does literally just pull all of them out of his glider. So
Yeah. Yeah. He's
Fair
running out a
enough.
few sort of way here.
I fully
Do
expected.
we like
Toby would-
Ned learning magic?
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Weirdly, kind of racist origin of his like magic thing, though. It's like old suspicious grandma is like, "Oh, we can do the magic." What language was she speaking? What the fuck was that?
Probably Chinese.
I think it was Thai.
Could have been Thai.
Sure.
I thought you were speaking Spanish. I'm kind of fucking retarded apparently.
Okay. Ooh. Maybe she's Filipino, and so you're both right.
There you go.
Sure. All right. Anybody else at the end of the movie? Did anybody?
Hang
else
on,
think-
Dylan.
Oh,
Hang on.
okay,
Oh my
hanging
God.
on.
Hang on.
Hanging
We
on.
gotta get to the fights at the end of the movie, my guy.
Oh.
I can't
Okay,
believe
gotcha.
this topic is lasting the whole episode.
It's
Is there
talk about
supposed to be more?
Spider-Man, dude.
We're
gotta
talking
talk
about a 2.5
Spider-Man.
hour movie.
So, yeah, during the big ass final fight, there were some dope ass things happening here, dude. There was some dope shit happening. So, one of the nice little touches I really liked about
Okay, yeah,
Electro-
hold on one
Yeah, what's
second. You guys are both right. They're Filipino, so they were speaking Tagalog.
up? Ah, there we go.
So
there we
yeah,
go.
it's kind of Asian-y. It's kind of Spanish.
That's
There
not
we
even.
go.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
We take those dubs here. So, one of the nice little things I really liked about Electro was, I'm sure Tanner knows this, but with whenever he would like do a big ass attack or like I don't know, just pretty much do anything with electricity in general, you'd see like a flash on his face for like the electricity that mimics how his mask normally looks with his original costume. Did you notice this at all, Tanner?
You're gonna have to repeat that.
So, whenever Electro does his shit, you know, whenever he does
Oh.
his electric shit,
Yeah.
there'd be like that
Yeah,
flash.
I noticed that.
Yeah. It
Yeah, it looks
was
like the star pattern of the original mask.
Yeah, it was a really dope
A
little
cute
detail.
way, a cute way to include something that would otherwise look stupid.
Yeah, it would look really fucking dumb.
Yeah.
So,
What's up, Dylan?
so one thing about Electro,
Mm-hmm.
just because I don't understand how powerful or not he is, it just seemed a lot like a majority of the characters kind of just shrugged off his electric attacks. Like literally had Andrew Garfield electrocuted for like 5 minutes at least of screen time.
Yeah.
Is his electric shocks really not like that? Because like, I feel like if he's really as powerful as he depicts himself as, I feel like nobody should really be able to withstand his electric shocks. Am I missing something here?
Spiders are immune to electricity.
Oh, of
That's
course.
crazy.
The old spiders. Yeah, that. Okay. Yeah, that is pretty cool. I remember that now.
Yeah. Electricity
Pretty-
isn't that dangerous, Dylan.
That's why fly swatters don't work on them. Didn't you know?
Exactly.
Okay. We'll go with that. What else, Nico? What else about the
I did also like right after they cured Sandman, they're like, "All right, stay here." They jump out, and then instantly Electro just blasts where Sandman is at with lightning.
yeah,
They just don't address it.
yeah. He was fine.
I don't even
obviously.
remember that moment.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, he's like in the head of the Statue of Liberty. That's where they're keeping him for safekeeping. The moment Spider-Man jumps out of there, Electro blasts the head.
Yeah. I totally. Yeah, I vividly remember that part.
Yeah,
I mean, hey, they showed him leaving, so obviously it was fine.
yeah, I guess so. And then also during the big fight scene is when we get a little redemption part for good old Andrew Garfield. Peter Parker, or I guess Tom Holland or whatever, he's not able to save Zendaya. He's not able to do it.
Oh.
Green Goblin gets in the way while she's falling. So, Andrew Garfield comes in and saves her. Like he wasn't able to do with his girl.
Yeah, I fully expected Zendaya to die there, but when I saw Andrew Garfield swoop in to make the save, I was extremely happy with the outcome based on my prior knowledge.
Yeah, it was great, dude. It was great. That moment almost also made me tear up a little bit. Almost.
Nice.
That was the other emotional point in the film.
That was pretty good. It was
I
pretty
felt
good,
nothing.
I'll admit.
Jackson did not care.
All right, Nico, what else you got?
I mean, Dylan, do you remember what happened during the final battle at all?
I mean, of all the characters we haven't talked about, I guess there is like the lizard, but I mean, nothing.
Nothing happened with the
Yeah,
lizard, Dylan.
nothing really.
The lizard sucks ass. Why was he in
noticed,
this film?
He noticed the portal was open, and also, after watching the Doctor Strange movie so many times, and Doctor Strange being one of my favorite Marvel characters, the way that the portals work in Doctor Strange, they don't just stay open just because. I get the dramatic tension in the movie, but the portal is only open as long as you are basically willing it open. So the fact that it was not closing for any reason,
Dylan, Ned doesn't know magic yet.
it doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
Maybe he just
Strange
thought
also
having the
didn't know
portal open
magic.
was super rad, so he just didn't want to go away. Subconsciously,
You see
of
those
course.
spark effects coming out from the portal, Dylan? They look dope as hell. Ned ain't gonna close that shit. He's jazzed. He can do magic now, man.
Yeah.
Now, I've
But,
never seen Doctor Strange. What's
Okay.
the ring? What's the ring?
It's called
Why
a
did the
slip
ring
ring.
give him powers?
It doesn't give him powers. It just allows him to open portals wherever he thinks. He can think of something. That's why in the movie they're like, show me which this part didn't make sense to me either, where they're like, show me Spider-Man, and it pulls in fucking Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. I
They're
don't.
Spider-Man.
Yeah. Which, to my prior knowledge, the slip rings were just supposed to be places in your own world or your own dimension or whatever you want to call it. They were not capable of opening portals to other dimensions, at least as far as I'm concerned.
They're not to other
Wait, does
dimensions.
Juan have one of those rings? And I never
he
noticed
does.
it?
Yes, all
Okay.
of those wizards have them.
So would Doctor Strange just have been stuck in the mirror dimension Grand Canyon if Ned hadn't opened a portal accidentally to him?
Yes.
I mean, maybe. Doctor Strange is also a smart boy, so
Master of all the
he
magical
could probably
arts.
get out of there. Just give him some time.
But are we going to the end of the movie now, Nico?
Those were other dimensions, Dylan. Those Spider-Man got pulled into that universe. Ned wasn't opening it.
You
to
are
them.
right.
Yeah.
You're right. That part slipped from my mind because I decided to ignore that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just ignored that crucial part of the film. Yeah. I guess aside from that, though, what'd you guys think about that fight with good old Spider-Man and Goblin boy?
that was pretty good. I liked
Pretty
how-
brutal.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you brought it up or if Jackson brought it up, but they're like, why all of a sudden is he able to fight Green Goblin hand to hand easily, but not while he was in the apartment?
That was Jackson.
Yeah.
Adrenaline, I guess.
That's what I told you, Jackson.
Yeah, that seems like a cop-out answer. Maybe I was just really pissed, but like I feel like I shouldn't
Well,
have.
like in the apartment, it was like a surprise attack sort of thing, you know?
Yeah. That's
I
that's
guess
valid.
so.
This time around,
Or he wasn't like rage induced.
this time around, he was ready for it.
Has it always been a thing that Green Goblin, his disease gives him super strength?
I'm pretty sure it does, yeah.
It does. But I didn't
Okay.
think it gave him like Spider-Man amounts of super strength.
It shouldn't.
It shouldn't, but
But it
it
does.
That
also
doesn't
seems
make
like
sense.
they vary the Spider-Man super strengths a lot too. So I don't know.
Yeah.
As with everything, it's
fine,
plot
dude.
convenience.
Did
Are
anybody
they
else?
gonna? Are they just gonna have to wind up giving? Oh, maybe not. Never mind.
What?
I was gonna say, like, would they have to just end up giving like MJ powers just so she can keep up with Ned and Spider-Man? But now those characters are, I guess, removed entirely from the franchise.
Yeah,
least
so
for the time being.
that ties into the ending, you see. Now, Jackson, what problems
Hello.
did you have with the ending of the film?
What problems did I have? Was there something I mentioned in the parking lot specifically that I'm just like blanking on right now?
There was, yes, the final spell that Doctor Strange does.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the whole wiping the memories of everybody. Yeah, I was really confused why suddenly he became empathetic to Peter's whole, like, scenario, when prior he was acting incredibly logical towards it and was like, this is fucking stupid. I can just fix this all really easily by fucking you over in this way, which you deserve because you put us in the situation to begin with. And then all of a sudden he is the opposite of that, and he was like, yeah, I'm going to look at your scenario over the lives of the whole fucking planet for this one moment. Made no fucking sense. It kind of ruined Doctor Strange for me in that moment.
What do you mean? I don't even understand this complaint. The spell he cast at the very end, he was like, "Oh my gosh, the fabric of reality is splitting apart," and
I'm specifically talking
Peter-
about when he was like questioning Peter about it. He was like, "Are you sure you like want to do this? Like everybody's gonna forget you." Like he was concerned about Peter's scenario when prior he was like, "This is fucking stupid. I'm just gonna make everybody forget you, and that's just gonna be that. We're gonna fix it." And then all of a sudden he didn't care about that anymore. He was more concerned about Peter, I guess. At least that's how I took it.
maybe I'd have to see it again to see what like the tone of it is, because like that doesn't make sense that it would be like that, because like as they establish, making everyone forget about Peter is the only way it would work.
Yes.
Like, the only way they'd stop the multiverse from fucking collapsing.
Yeah.
So to be fair, Jackson, to be fair, here's one thing about this incarnation of good old Tom Holland Spider-Man.
Of course.
Everyone just fucking loves the guy, okay?
People
even all
love
the
this
villains
kid.
even all the villains we interact with, they just love Tom Holland, okay?
Can't get enough of that twink.
None of his villains have wanted to kill him. Every time he interacts with them, they're like, "Look, kid, I want to do this. You can just leave. We can forget this ever happened. Just get out of here. Get out.
Yeah.
Go away, you
Yeah,
scamp."
you scamp.
Yeah.
Why we all think of Scamp? I was gonna say
They just love the. You look at Tom Holland, you know he's a scamp, okay? You know he's a scamp.
Look at that guy.
So
Look how silly he is. He's
However-
short.
I will extend an olive branch here, Jackson. I will extend an olive branch to you. I do acknowledge that the specific spell that Doctor Strange did at the end here is strange. So, originally,
Is Doctor.
Spider-Man explains that with the very initial spell, he just wants people to forget that he is Spider-Man. But this time around, for whatever reason, he's like, do the spell again. You know, the one that makes it so people forget I'm Peter Parker, whatever the fuck. Like, why is that the spell now?
No.
Why is the spell to make everyone forget who Peter Parker is?
You got an answer, Tanner?
Let me think.
Whip one up, I believe.
He was like, I think it was initially he was like, can we just do the spell again, but this time complete it? And then Doctor Strange is like, no, we can't for some reason. And then I guess Spider-Man is like, what if we did something even more extreme and just wiped me from existence?
I don't think that was the sequence of events that happened, from what I recall.
I think it was. I think he was basically like, can we just redo the initial spell and make people forget that Spider-Man is Peter Parker? And then Doctor Strange, I think he says something along the lines of like, that trying to do that spell is what's causing this, so doing it again won't fix it, or whatever. And then he's like, what if we just make everyone forget Peter Parker? Would that work? He's like, yeah, sure.
But are you sure if you want to do it?
Yeah.
I don't think that was the sequence of events that happened, but sure. I guess
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's the case.
I guess we can go with that. I guess we can
Magic,
go with that.
listen. I mean, I haven't seen Doctor Strange, but as far as I can tell, the magic in the MCU is very ill-defined what the rules around it are.
It's very, very loose.
it is.
Quite.
Okay.
I wouldn't know either. I'm just saying quite because I feel important if I do.
Yeah, of course.
Quite.
See, and I thought we all had like the same grievances. Like, I'm acknowledging like those are all something that I noticed, but the one thing that stood out to me the most is in fact the part where he's like, well, why don't we just make everybody forget who I am, basically. And I was sitting here thinking, I was like, well, the issue is people in your universe isn't necessarily the problem. I don't know if that's like, and then we were talking about how loose the magic is, so I don't know if that's necessarily what has to be done to fix the spell. But I'm thinking, why not just make the people who are pouring in from other universes, like, forget, and then just leave the people in his universe alone? And I feel like that should still do it. But again, I have no, like we discussed, I have no clue how the magic works, so maybe that's not how it works. Even if they forget who Peter Parker is, it could still be, like, a couple of people, but I don't know.
Yeah, hell if I know, dude. Hell if I know.
He made everyone in every universe forget who Peter Parker is.
Damn.
Yeah, absolutely everybody. Peter Parker just don't exist no more, boys.
That goes for, like,
That's
Tobey
crazy.
Maguire. Did anybody else think Tobey Maguire is gonna die at the end of the movie?
No.
No.
I have expected it at the most. But
I guess, like, after he got stabbed, I was a little bit like, oh, are they gonna kill him?
that's the
But
part I was talking about.
then they kind of play it off like it's nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andrew
It's like,
Garfield was
I'm
like,
fine.
You're in so much pain right now, aren't you, buddy? He's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, like the part where he's like, it's okay, I've been stabbed before. I'm like, well, that's not how that works, but okay, we'll go with it. Also, I'm
What
pretty sure I
doesn't
saw,
kill you make you stronger, you know?
Yeah.
I also remember from one of the other Spider-Man movies, like, I don't remember which one it was or who did it, but, like, they just like, I remember at one point somebody got, like, stabbed, and then he's like, I'll use my web shooter or whatever to plug the hole or something, or I don't know. I don't remember what movie that was, but I was like, just do that. Probably be fine.
Probably. They're all going back to their universes or whatever anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah. But you know that in some Spider-Man movie later on with, like, the way that they're driving the plot, like, somehow people who are really close to him are gonna start remembering, or, like, Doctor Strange did some weird shit in the middle of all that to create a loophole of some kind, because you know that's how that works.
I don't know about that, I don't know about that.
I don't know.
Because, as we saw at the very end of the film, Peter has the opportunity to tell MJ and Ned all about, you know, everything, but instead he doesn't choose to do that. How'd you boys feel about that decision?
I was so upset.
When I was watching that scene, I was very scared for a second, and I was like, oh no, are they gonna be dating?
I also thought that.
I think there was like one side by side where I was like, they're about to kiss. What the fuck?
Yeah, I also thought that. I thought
NTR,
like,
no.
Here you go, honey.
Yeah, I was like, I would not be happy with that.
that would have been a decision I would have been a tad miffed about, yeah.
But I mean, here's the thing though too, like the whole purpose of, well, not the whole purpose, part of the purpose of Spider-Man is the whole anonymity thing of it, which is what is accomplished at the end of the movie. However, I feel like
okay, wait, hold on a second. Okay, now I got a complaint, right?
Yeah.
So like Spider-Man, he's a big genius and whatever, and he invented the fucking the wheel. Lizard serum, or you know, he's a smart kid, right?
Yeah.
Why does he have a GED study book? What does he need to study?
Yeah,
he should be able to just go take the GED test and off the top of his head nail it, right? What?
Probably.
I mean, yeah, those tests are so easy. They even call
he doesn't
high school
need to
dropouts
study.
are able to pass it. You know.
I was confused by that as well, but
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, he definitely moved into his apartment and slammed it down on the table amongst other books and paperwork that he had.
Also,
like,
that kind of
sack.
implies he's like vanished from all records.
Well, yeah.
Like,
yeah,
not only have
basically.
people forgotten Peter Parker exists, but like school records or his social security card or whatever the fuck are gone now too.
Yeah.
I mean, presumably that's how it works, because if he vanishes from everybody's memories, it's probably assuming also going to get rid of all of, like, the evidence that he ever existed as well.
I mean, yeah, you know, like...
I guess.
Well, like, with the initial spell, I'm sure it was also going to make sure, like, all those news broadcasts and stuff about Spider-Man being Peter Parker would have gone away. Otherwise, what would be the point of it?
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, I assume there's a bit of trickery there going on. But Dylan, you didn't like the decision that Peter didn't do that. Why is that?
Just because, I mean, it's gonna, the way that they had it, it's gonna happen anyway. Like I was saying, the whole anonymity thing of Spider-Man is supposed to be, like, something that makes Spider-Man. It's always been a thing, like, few key people know. But the way that they just kind of, like, if you really think about it anymore, it's like none of the quote-unquote Avengers or whatever you want to, none of those people know who he is anymore. Like, none of his friends know, I don't know if he has any family, like I was saying. Nobody knows who he is, like, absolutely nobody. So, I know that something has to come along later to reintroduce him. But anyway, the reason I didn't like it is because he had the opportunity. He just, I don't know.
Well, Dylan,
I think I have a good reason for why you shouldn't like that.
What's that?
It's like a big point in the first two Spider-Mans that he just is like, fuck it, I'm just going to tell my loved ones that I'm Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now, who gives a fuck? Who cares? Like, that doesn't matter. It like completely diminishes that sort of point. That's like if you know, the first Iron Man movie ended where he's like, whatever, I'm Iron Man, bing, and then like some dumb bullshit happens in the next movie and everyone forgets.
Well, I mean, here's the thing about all this. I think you guys might be looking at it a little bit wrong here. I don't think he cares about the being anonymous to them at all. I don't think that's why he didn't tell them. When he's like about to kind of talk about it, he notices like the Band-Aid on MJ's, and I think you can really tell there's some excellent acting going on in this section where they just don't do any talking whatsoever, and you can just tell how they're feeling based off their expressions and stuff.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You can definitely tell he's really ruminating about it and thinking about how, like, well, if I tell them, they're just gonna keep getting hurt, and so it's probably for the best if I just, you know, don't say anything and stay as far away from them as possible so I can protect the people I love, you know?
Yeah, because he dealt with this crisis early in the movie, too, where he's like, you guys not getting accepted to MIT wouldn't have happened if you didn't even know me, and that's what sparked the whole making people forget who I am. But I think one of the reasons that I also didn't like the scene as well is because like I was saying before, I think there needs to be a reason for an event to happen, or else what's the point of it? So like they had the touching scene at the right before Doctor Strange was about to finish the spell, where they're like, "Oh, don't forget me, come find me." He's like, "Oh, I promise I'll find you." And he's like, "If you don't find me or whatever, I'll just figure it out again." You're like, all that stuff. So you kind of just take that scene and just like crush it and like throw it out the window. It's like that scene had no purpose, and it's like why try to build up that emotional like tension just to not do anything with it? But then going to your point, where it's like he could tell their lives would be better off if they didn't know who he was or they weren't involved with him.
Yeah,
and I get that.
I was gonna bring that up too, where like he knows that they would want to know him and know he's Spider-Man.
Yeah, and that's what I was.
So like, even though he's constructing it as being like a selfless thing, it's still kind of being selfish because ultimately he's the one who wants to keep them safe, and they're the ones who want to know him.
Yeah, and that's what I was just about to get at. It's like, I get that he doesn't want other people to get involved so they don't get hurt, but at the same time, it's like they wanted to be there for him. They wanted to be there to help him. They wanted that. And it's not whether or not like they did it out of selfless or selfishness. It's not one of those things. It's just it's supposed to be a team thing. Like they're all there to help each other, and it's always that mindset of we'll always be there to help each other out kind of thing. So I get like what the way like the way they were portraying the story there makes a ton of sense. But that's what made me upset is what me and Tanner were saying. But
gotcha.
Yeah, because that's. Oh, I remember, because I ended up talking to you about this, because that's how I used to be. I used to, like, never ask anybody for help, ever. But, like, sometimes you just need to have people in your life to count on to, ask for help. Because sometimes, if you don't ask for help, you end up in a worse spot than you were before.
Yeah, so, and I think this may be something, Dylan, that they'll be able to explore in future Spider-Man films.
Yeah.
After all, with the way things are at now, what do you think, what do you guys think the next Spider-Man film is going to be like?
I don't,
I think it's just gonna be Spider-Man doing Spider-Man things, and, like, somehow, like, there'll be, like,
he's gonna be in Multiverse of Madness, probably, yeah.
I don't know.
He might Spider-Man John Wick.
I don't know. So,
I don't think we're probably gonna see him again until, like, the next Avengers movie, even.
Well, the way things are now, I don't think Spider-Man's gonna really be involved in any of this stuff much at all.
Yeah.
Just due to the sort of ending of this film, Spider-Man is basically entirely isolated now.
Yeah.
So he'll be able to just it almost feels like this is a Spider-Man origin story almost. Like all of this has been leading up to.
They tricked us.
Yeah.
Fuck.
All this
She died. She said the quote.
Story.
Oh my god.
Because now he's actually just a poor kid living in Chicago. He doesn't have Daddy Downey Jr.'s Iron Man bucks anymore. He doesn't get all this cool stuff. He had to make his very own homemade suit. He's gotta be a normal Spider-Man now.
They made a 6-hour origin movie.
Exactly.
They fucking fooled us. They played us like a goddamn fiddle.
I see that now. I mean, I did kind of like the whole Tony Stark thing involved with Spider-Man. I thought that was a pretty neat facet of it. I like how in this movie they kind of are like, you remember Iron Man? You know how he died in that one movie? Well, okay, too bad. All of like his memories, all of his company, all of his technology, that's gone now. That just doesn't exist. It's confiscated.
Yeah, I think this opens up the possibility that the next Spider-Man film.
Is this how the X-Men get involved?
I don't think so, no. But
I think this might be the route into mutant stuff.
I'm not entirely sure. It's possible. I think in the future we're going to get a much more grounded Spider-Man movie, at the very least for the next one. Mm-hmm. I think with like the stuff happening with MJ, she's gone now. I highly doubt they'll bring in Gwen Stacy after the stuff that Andrew Garfield talked about in this one. Because when she shows up, Spider-Man will be like, wait, hang on, who the fuck? Hang on a second, I don't know how this goes. And
did Garfield ever? Did he say Gwen Stacy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He fucking did. Yeah.
So I think.
Yeah.
That what we're gonna see in this instance, I think the Black Cat's gonna get involved here, Tanner.
The black guy.
Black Cat.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Quick side note: it took me a little bit to realize that Gwen Stacy, referencing back to the Spider-Verse movie, is just another multiverse of when she becomes Spider-Man instead of Peter Parker, and then she was talking about her best friend getting killed by a villain, which was the Lizard.
Yes.
And it's all making a lot more sense now. I didn't get that till way after the movie.
Spider-Man finally makes sense to.
I mean,
Now-
it's always...
Now, Nico, let me give
Yeah.
you the worst timeline.
What's that?
MJ becomes Black Cat, and she's like a hyper woke Robin Hood type.
I would fucking hate that.
Now, are we talking about...
She's like fighting
Zendaya
against the
Mary Jane,
patriarchy.
or-
Yes.
Yes. She's like she's like fighting against the patriarchy by stealing from men and giving it to women in homeless shelters.
That sounds god awful.
That doesn't sound like it'd match her character, though, if I'm being completely
Yes,
What do
honest.
you
it
mean?
does.
This one was all about being like woke and shit.
Well,
That is 100% MJ's character in the Tom Holland thing. She's you know, she's your stereotypical like 17-year-old girl actually. So
Yeah. And I also think, because we'll be a bit more grounded this time around, it'll be the perfect time to introduce one of the biggest Spider-Man villains who we still have yet to see on the full screen.
Doc Ock?
Not Venom.
oh,
We'll get into that, Dylan. I wanted to mention
Venom.
This is going to be the mega
villain-
Guapish episode.
the villain who we have yet to see yet in Spider-Man is Kraven the Hunter. He has
right.
yet to be featured at all in it, and he's like one of the biggest
wait.
Spider-Man
I
villains.
feel like I should go grab my book.
Is Claw still alive
Claw, I don't know if they are.
Who's Claw?
from Age of Ultron? Did Ultron kill him?
I'm pretty sure he died, but
No, he's in Black Panther, isn't he?
He dies there.
yeah,
Is he dead? He dies in Black Panther?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he does.
I don't remember seeing him die.
Yeah,
is my only thing.
Warmonger or whatever kills him.
Okay, then never mind. I thought it'd be neat if he was Kraven the Hunter. I think that would make sense.
Oh wait, hang on.
Doesn't he?
I think I just remembered something that may throw a wrench in this entire thing. Didn't they announce that there's going to be a Kraven the Hunter movie?
That sounds vaguely familiar.
That would be a problem, and I would not like that. But yeah, Venom also.
Yeah, can I...
Yeah, what's up, Dylan? What's up?
Okay, so this is a grievance that I had expressed at when we left as well. So, obviously, the guy who played Venom was at the end of the movie, and he was like, I gotta go find this Spider-Man, and then obviously he just gets sent back. So, one, and I think this is something that Jackson brought up too, where he's like, what happened to like all the other villains? Like, why aren't all these other villains wreaking havoc in literally every other part of the world? Like, obviously, if that guy was there in some random part of the world, you know. Anyway, so
I will say, just to finish the little thing before, Claw was killed off screen, so they could literally do anything.
yeah, I'm pretty sure he got Thanos snapped or something.
No. He got killed he was shot by Killmonger, but it happened off screen. So like, you know,
Gotcha,
they can do anything with that character.
Okay.
So my only
Off screen
grievance,
deaths don't count.
My only grievance with Venom, cause Nico had a counterpoint to this because movies, but if all of that dude disappeared, why was that one trace of Venom left? And before we get into the argument, let me explain why I think this way.
Yeah, of course. Because
Well,
you don't understand the
because
comics.
I brought
That's the reason.
this up. I brought this up before.
Yeah, what's
Yeah.
up, Tanner?
Yeah.
Well, just because the symbiote is one being, and it obviously moves from host to host, and it adopts the personality or the traits or whatever from each host. That's why
Yeah.
at some point you get Spider-Man powers. So, why is it that guy disappears, but that one piece of symbiote leaves? And I understand it's not part of him anymore, but the symbiote is one giant organism, and just because it detaches itself doesn't mean it's not still part of it. It has its own conscience, it can still know who people are. That little piece of symbiote still knows who Spider-Man or Peter Parker is.
Well, no. See, that's actually the bigger thing that doesn't make sense. Everyone who got pulled into the universe are people who knew that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, but Spider-Man doesn't exist in the universe that the Venom movies are happening in, so he doesn't know that. So
There's
why did
that
he
too.
get pulled at all?
Because maybe they're pulling it from the Spider-Man 3 movie. That's the only logical thing that makes sense.
That's very clearly
No.
the one from the Venom movies.
Yeah,
Dylan.
it's
I
Tom
know it
Hardy.
is, but I'm just saying that's the only thing that does make sense. Is that's the only? I mean, the Venom from that movie had to have known who Spider-Man was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But also,
that-
it's not that Venom.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I know it's not, but that, like I was saying, that's the only thing that would logically make sense as to why he's there. Because, at that point, they're just pulling in villains to make... Because that's just their excuse. Nico said this, that's their excuse to pull in Venom to this universe, to put him in a movie.
That's why they did it.
Yeah. I will also say, however, the Venom symbiotes can reproduce, Dylan.
They can reproduce, but that's not what happened.
Have you seen how the Venom symbiotes reproduce?
No.
A piece of them just falls off, and that's a new Venom now.
Oh. Oh, is that why you were trying to tell me the whole deal with Carnage before?
Yes, that's how Carnage is created.
So is the logic that a piece of him, because the piece fell off in that multiverse, it is considered by the magic of that universe and not of his original one?
It's assumedly just his very own symbiote instead.
But does it just create a new conscience?
Yeah, I don't think that the symbiotes are capable of having memories from their past incarnations at all.
Okay, because in that case, if that symbiote, like offspring or whatever, had a new conscience, that's the only thing that would make logical sense.
Yeah,
I think it's weird. Like if we want to insert Venom, like they could have just had fall from space. Why did we have to involve Tom Hardy's Venom in the MCU to get this?
It's all got to be a link, Tanner. It all needs to come together.
Venom, not gonna lie.
Venom.
Not a bad Venom. So that was the last grievance I really had.
Okay, listen. I haven't seen the second Venom movie. The first Venom is fun. Okay, yeah. It's fun.
It's pretty fun.
It's not good, but it's way better than it had, than anyone thought it was gonna be. Yeah. Right?
Fair.
I assumed you were going somewhere else with that. So Jackson,
that was my whole thought.
Jackson, you have any final thoughts on Spider-Man?
Why did they fight at the fucking Eiffel Tower? Not the Eiffel Tower.
Why did they fight at the Eiffel Tower?
Statue of Liberty?
Statue of Liberty. I couldn't think of the name. Yeah, that. Why the fuck did they fight there? Because it's obvious to find
they
them?
said meet me somewhere where second chances begin or whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
they wanted a cool fight scene, okay?
I mean, I get why they did it from a movie making standpoint, but a plot reason. Why? That's such an awful spot.
It was symbolic.
I
think they just needed a symbol that everybody could recognize. It's far away from people.
By the way, this symbolism, you can now construe this as an anti-immigration movie because it's people from another place. They go to the Statue of Liberty, and then Spider-Man kicks their asses and yeets them back to where they belong.
Oh no!
Let's go, dude. Big fan of this.
You heard it here first, folks. Confirmed.
Dude, that's a fucking Vice article someone is writing right now.
Ooh.
They're like, the problem with Spider-Man No Way Home's views on immigration.
Dear God.
I could write that article.
You could, Tanner.
You could? You work for Vice? That's great.
You should. You would.
Should my politics YouTube channel that we're talking about creating be a parody channel?
Oh, there you go. I think
like a Tatiana McGrath kind of deal.
Yeah.
I just adopt a really flamboyantly gay persona.
Whatever suits your fancy, my dude.
Yeah, This is no longer on the topic of Spider-Man, therefore the audience does not care.
Let's give it. Are we done? Can we give it a 10?
I believe so.
Can we give it? Yeah.
I mean,
That's it. That's it for Guapish today, everybody. Jackson, sign
Hold
us
on.
out.
Let's give it some ratings. What's your guys' out of 10 score?
Jackson.
Like a 6.
Oh my god! What?
Dylan's gonna give it a 7. Just you watch.
I mean, I said I gave it a 7 outside the movie theater, so...
You guys are ridiculous.
You see that? The classic 7.
But it's fine. That's not horrible. It's not...
ridiculous.
I'll give it some more thought. I'll rebrand my preconceived notions of the way I thought the movie should have or could have gone.
7 is the comfortable number that a lot of people fall into, Dylan. It's where they go when they're like, well, I don't want to say it's bad.
Yeah, it's good, but not great.
The way that the movie was itself, I'll give it like an 8 or a 9 just because the second movie out of this trilogy is still my favorite out of all of them.
There we go. There.
Really?
Yes. I very much
Far
enjoyed
From
the second.
Home is your favorite.
Yes.
Interesting. I think this is the perfect superhero movie, which puts it at a solid 9.5.
Damn.
Nice. Forgot
It's perfect, yet there's still room for improvement.
Always.
Well, I said it's the perfect superhero movie, and superhero movies are not real cinema.
Of course.
Got him, dude.
Yeah, I think that's I'm comfortable giving it a 9.
Damn.
Yeah.
Don't I look like a little fucking contrarian?
Yeah. Cool.
I definitely think my experience would have been a lot more reasonable if I had watched anything from the series prior.
Yeah.
Because literally the only movie I had seen was the previous movie. I haven't even seen the first one in this fucking trilogy.
Yeah,
We need to have a Marvel night. I feel like we need to have a Marvel night.
it is entirely possible. Yeah, this film definitely serves as a celebration of like all things Spider-Man throughout
Yeah.
these
Yes.
last few
I
years.
will-
It absolutely
Yes.
seemed to me, as somebody not familiar with any of it, as this is a movie that's entirely based around jacking off previous franchises and getting the audience to go, "Oh my god, it's that guy! I remember that guy!" kind of thing all the
You
time.
guys remember Sandman?
Quite frankly, for a person not really seeing any of the prior movies, giving it a 6, I feel like is not horrible.
I thought it
It
was a
could be
good
much
movie.
lower.
I literally thought it was an entertaining movie. I think the special effects were fucking incredible. Literally, the worst part of it was just the dumbass plot that made no fucking sense to me.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Well, Jackson,
Guys,
what was it?
the podcast is done, right? That's what's happening. I'm closing it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, give us an outro.
Thanks for
Give
tuning
us
in,
a
guys.
Spider-Man. Oh, wow.
On another
mention the
episode. On another episode of Guapish, subscribe to our Patreon for $1 a month, please. We're desperate. We're living
Yeah.
out of our mom's basement right now.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
our collective mom's basement.
Yes, we all have the same mom. What the
All
fuck?
of our mothers fuse into one super mother with one super basement. It's actually pretty chill down here.
What was
It's
that
pretty
one
nice.
classic Spider-Man line?
With great power,
With great
comes
power
great
comes great
responsibility.
responsibility.
No, I was doing the money one.
Oh, give me your money.
Yes, that
Give
one.
us your money.
Give us your money. Oh, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.